Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. We're going to be on Westfield, and we're going to be in the LHM TV again. This game I just played a couple of days ago. Again, I was telling you guys how the map rotation was so weird. First day I didn't get any good maps, second day I got a bunch of good maps, and we've been trying to mark the LHM TV for now. Just did a video on Outpost, and I believe that was on the same day. So we're going to be on Westfield now, and this is going to be another good game. I think we do well over 5,000 combined or something like that. I want to say it was like 3k spotting and like 2,000 damage maybe or something like that. But we'll see at the end. And M41 is taking a pretty good location here, so I think we're doing well as light tanks, right? This is probably your second best bet. Either this bush right here on this hill, or you can try and do this hill over here, like on the 7 line. It gets a little risky because when you do spot someone like the Saladin, or you have an enemy light tank there, then everyone's going to be targeting you. You can see how the M41 is running away, dodging shells left and right. It looks like he's lagging too, man. Like, everyone else seems to be going fairly smooth. Maybe this guy's lagging a little bit or whatever. I don't think it's me because I never lag. Some people are driving smoothly. This M41 feels like he's going like this across the map as I'm watching him. But I like sitting here, guys. I find this area to be the most effective for Westfield because, at least from the other spawn, you don't really have this equivalent bush, right? Like, you can try and sit here, but it just doesn't really work the same, in my opinion. I've tried it, and I tend to find that this area is much better to come to, right? And the reason why is because I'm just going to pause. So from the southwest spawn, you have this bush right here that's really, really effective at spotting pretty much this entire thing. So as all the mediums come like this, you will light them, and from that same bush you can spot people that are in this area that are going to poke up like that, right? And that's why I really, really like this location over here. It's this bush right here. And if you go there, then you can also slowly, as long as there's no one contesting you really, like an even 90 or whatever, some light tank or even a wheelie doesn't do like one of these, to try and like basically outplay you, because some people know that light tanks like to go into these areas. They'll do that, but they'll also do that to try and scout people that are coming up like this hill. So you might see like a wheelie do that, so be careful of that. But you can kind of knock down these trees and like meander your way in like this, like, you know what I mean, and then go like that. And you can spot people like on this corner and anyone that's going to sit in like this area too. That's why that area is so effective to go to from the southwest spawn, because you can do so many things from that one area. But when you take the area here from the northeast spawn, this is going to be your best bet, right? Because over here, it's just the way the angles work, guys, right? Like no map is ever mirrored perfectly. And if you come up here, like there's not an equivalent bush like this one, where it's in the wide open and you can spot people that are coming in like this. At least I have not found that. So that's why I prefer to go out here from the southwest spawn, but from the northeast spawn, you come here and then you can outspot people that are coming in like this. You can outspot people that win this area, like we're even outspotting the LT. The 58 mutts. The LT doesn't have CVS because I don't get lit here, right? And you can spot people on this hill and all that. So that's why I take this approach rather than trying to do what the M41 did, because I just find it to be not effective enough, right? And you can see the M41 did get countered already by the Saladin, and he's sitting all the way back here, basically just, I guess, waiting for shots at this point, right? And you end up in this situation where you're like, okay, now I kind of want to spot for the team, but I'm stuck out here and I'm doing nothing, and I just don't like that. So I'd rather come to this bush and just fight this for this K0 area, right? Because the K0 area on this map, K0 is very, very vital. This, southeast corner of the map. If you're able to take this, it just means that you're likely going to have an advantage in the south, right? And then you can subsequently take the south side of the map and end up flanking the heavies. But when you win this location, look, we spot the Hawk 30 as well. He's also not running CVS. If he was running CVS, very likely that I'd be lit here. And look at that, man, like all that spotting damage. And this is why you really want to run CVS on these maps, guys. But when you take K0, right, and you leave the mediums maybe over here in like this 7 square, it means that it's a lot easier for you to kind of eliminate these guys, push them back, and then you take this hill, like kind of where the Saladin is. There's a little corner right here in G4. You come up there, and then once you take that location, you have, you know, flanking shots that you can also get on these guys. You just have to be careful that they don't hit you first, right? And then you can win the south, if that makes sense. And I think I might do that in this video. We'll see how I progress, and I will show you guys that. But that's how you need to kind of play this side of the map, and it's why K0 is so important, right? Now, obviously, if your heavies lose within the first few minutes of the game, yeah, man, that's not going to be good. You're probably going to lose the game just because you lose that side of the map so much faster. So it's not as if you can leave one side of the map open. I always tell you guys this. There are a few examples where you only need to put a couple people on one side of the map and you should be fine. Lakeville is the biggest example. The amount of times I see like half the team on Lakeville go to the one side of the map where it's just like the valley, right? And you always lose the game, man. Because the thing is, from the city, once you win the city, you have that entire side of the map. So you have the middle road, you have the city, and then you can also defend the base and attack the base, both bases from the city. Whereas with the valley, man, you're just, as soon as you come around that corner, that's it, man. Like there's nowhere to go, there's nowhere to hide, and you end up, you know, if you win the valley but lose everything else, you only own like a third of the map or whatever, right? So it's a lot easier for people to have the advantage there, especially with the way the terrain works, because as you come from the city, you actually go uphill a little bit. So on Westfield, I wouldn't say it's necessarily like that, but I would say that the east and south portion of this map is more important, because as you come up, yes, this is uphill, but the thing is, you can take this entire like lower portion of the map, right? And I've been on maps before, or I'm sorry, I've been on this map before in games where we've won the hill, right? Like the upper portion of this map, but we actually lost the game because now you have people that are poking right here on this ridge line, and anyone who's going to come down off the ridge line is going to get hit by people that are now over on this hill, right? So that's why I just feel like if this wasn't a hill over here, if this whole thing was just a valley or whatever, it would probably be very different, right? But because you have this hill over here, that's where it becomes really like risky to just win this portion of the map, because then you really need a good light tank, right? And when I was on this map in the Hawk 30, I showed you guys that probably a couple weeks ago now. That video came out. So we're trying to get a shot here into the S1. Finally, someone's able to help me. And this is the play I was talking to you guys about. See how I have shots now with the Lorraine? If the LHM TV actually had some sort of gun elevation, like we'd be able to make this work. But this thing, man, is just so freaking awkward. It's like playing with the 1375 or whatever. It's just like the freaking gun elevation, man, is so bad on this vehicle. So I'm pushing this area now, and you can see that there's bushes here and there's trees that you can knock down. So you can get in here and kind of spot the rest of the enemy team. First, we're going to eliminate the Lorraine. I have the angle to do so. So I'm going to eliminate this guy so my teammates can push the south, right? And we're getting lit here, but here's where taking this portion of the map is so vital, especially as a light tank, right? Because you can come up here, spot via these bushes, and then there's little like dips right here. So you got like a dip here, you got a dip here, and you even have like this. This is like the main dip, I would call it. Like, I don't know what else to call this, guys, but this is where all the people go from north to south, right? Like if you're going to climb the hill. But I would suggest going to one of these two dips, and then you can just continue poking up and spot people in this area. You see how we're spotting these guys, man? We're spotting the Saladin, and you'll have shots on these guys, and then you can go right back into the dip like this and be safe, as long as there's no arty, and you know, you're good to go. So that's how I would suggest you guys play this. Taking a quick shot here at the Saladin before you can aim, and you can just outplay people like all day long from this area, right? And then if you take the south, right, and you end up taking this corner, so K1, even more important than K0, obviously, if you're pushing from the northeast, you now have the biggest advantage, because now you can sit people on the cap, and if you have someone that's up here spotting, you can spot the ridge line, and then people just can't even defend the cap at that point, right? So again, like, we kind of stomped this team, but this is really important to share with you guys, like how vital it is to take the east and the south portion of this map. And this is the biggest example of why, because we're able to poke the ridge line and spot like everybody, man, right? Finally, I get eliminated here by the G-Sword. It's fine, man. Like I tell you guys all the time, I'm always rushing in at the end of the game to try and get as much damage as possible, and this guy ends up getting cleaned up right away, and that's the game. Visible was 1839 damage, 2590 assist. We'll see what it was in the end plates, guys, and I hope that helps you out on Westfield, man. I'm telling you guys, like, always go east on this map in a light tank, man, or go to this hill and just try and help the east. This is all a brawling zone, and this is where Artie has a field day. Literally, it's wide open field. And you don't want to be here, man. Like, there's just nothing to spot. Like, I've seen some players try and make, like, active scout runs through the city. You can do that because you might spot someone sitting, like, in this area or whatever. But I feel like it's much easier just to do from here. Or, again, from the northeast spawn, you just spot this area of the map, man. Because east and then south on this map are very important. And again, I'm sorry for the headphone noise, guys. This headset's getting kind of old, and it makes a lot of like creaking noises, so I try to not like move so much when I'm recording the videos. I do have a spare one. I just don't want to use it yet. But again, the south, guys, and even the north on this map are very, very important, man. So I would suggest you take them. You know, don't worry about the hill. The hill is whatever. Let the heavies do that stuff, and try and support this, like these portions of the map. And you'll notice that if you're going to the north, it works pretty similar, man, right? It's not exactly the same. As I always tell you guys, maps are not mirrored perfectly, but you will find that it's pretty much the same thing going north as well. You just come up these little roadways here, right? And you can spot the rest of the team. And the same thing, you can go to like this little corner right here in like E7 and spot the rest of the team on the hill. And then your team takes this hill over here, and like you almost always have the advantage, right? It's just the way the map works. So there you go, guys. That's Westfield. That's how I see it anyway. This was a first-class game, 32-19, spotting 2,064 damage, so over 5,000 combined. And we are top by experience here. It looks like we're like third or fourth by damage or something like that. M3Y had 2271, RHM had 2916. Looks like we're third then. And that's about it, guys. I'll show you the detailed report and let you guys go. 13 shots fired, 12 hits, 10 pens, and it was only a 7-minute game. Not a super close game, but I feel like this video will really help you guys out on Westfield. So that's all. Again, CVS in the scouting slot, guys. Optics, bounty, low noise exhaust. That's how I run these things all the time when I'm on a spotting map. It's always CVS in the scouting slot, optics, low noise exhaust at tier 8. And then for lower tiers, you can substitute CVS, because obviously you don't have CVS, with like vents or V-stab or whatever you need to put there, depending on what the tank needs, right? And my crew is fairly good here. We're actually on our 4th skill. I should just reset this and do Brothers in Arms if I really needed to get the 2 mark, but we'll see, man. Catch you guys for the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.